Yo, what's up, everyone? It is the Beast back on the channel. On the Beast on. If you're watching this today, which is a Wednesday, October 7th, yeah, to check the date, because every day feels the same. Happy hump day! Is that still a thing? Hey, if you see this face, and I'm sorry you have to see it, or hear this voice, subscribe to the channel, will you? Just subscribe to the channel. Just hit the little subscribe button. Why? Because we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and that's my goal, to get 1,000 plus subscribers. We're almost there. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your wife, tell your girlfriend, tell them both at the same time, and get into all sorts of domestic issues. Whatever it takes, just tell them about the channel. All right, today's topic is, I saw Manny Navarro wrote an article for The Athletic, basically pondering whether Trevor Lawrence, Clemson's quarterback, is the best quarterback that Miami has ever faced. And I'll be honest with you, I did not read the article because due to the tough times after being laid off 3 times since November, we've had to give up some of the niceties in life, and unfortunately The Athletic was one of them, although I do look forward to getting gainfully employed and getting my subscription back. And by the way, if you know of any jobs, feel free to pass them on. But, so that got me thinking about my time being around the Miami Hurricanes and the quarterbacks that they've seen on the opposition. Of course, I traveled with the team from 1999 to 2009, so I saw a lot of great quarterbacks up close and personal. But I decided, I said, okay, what are the time constraints here as far as what I'm going to look at? And I decided to make it personal because I'm selfish, and basically put it in my fandom of the Miami Hurricanes. And we put my fandom of the Miami Hurricanes starting in about 1980. 81, around there. My first memories of the Miami Hurricanes started maybe at the end of Jim Kelly, Bernie Kosar. Okay, so that's where we're starting. My grandmother, Sil, may she rest in peace, one of the biggest influences in my life, and probably why I'm a Canes fan. Loved Bernie Kosar. I mean, loved Bernie Kosar. I remember her sitting on the couch just cheering for Bernie Kosar, going nuts, and that's why I love the Canes. So there you go. Just a quick thing, just so you know, my mom was born in Coral Gables at Doctors Hospital, grew up in Coral Gables, so my mom's side of the family, all Hurricanes. And my dad's side of the family has no rooting interest really in anything. My dad grew up a Notre Dame fan because that's the only college that they showed on TV, and then he rooted for Boston College for a little bit, and now I don't know if he even watches, but that's neither here nor there. But my mom's side of the family, all diehard Canes, so that's why I'm a diehard Cane. So, and that's why I went to school there. So let's take it from like 80 on. And so the first thing I did, and pardon my lack of technology on this, is I went to who won the Heisman. What quarterbacks have Miami faced in their that won the Heisman? So we go back and we look and we see that obviously 1984 Miami faced Doug Flutie. He won the Heisman that year. How did that fare? I don't want to talk about that. That was a horrible day. Damn you for catching that ball. So Doug Flutie obviously won the Heisman, went on to have a long career in the CFL and the NFL, would certainly put him up there as one of the best quarterbacks that Miami has ever faced. The next quarterback that won the Heisman that Miami faced was Ty Detmer, BYU. Now, Ty Detmer did not go on to be a good pro, but he was one of the best college quarterbacks of all time, and he beat Miami. I think, did he beat Miami? 1990 opening game. Let's see. You know what? Sometimes it all goes hazy. Yeah, BYU beat Miami. It was 28-21. Yeah, I was right about that. All right. So obviously Ty Detmer, one of the best quarterbacks that Miami's ever faced. Keep going now. 93, Charlie Ward. Against Miami up in Doak Campbell. I remember skipping a relative's bar mitzvah or leaving early to go watch that game, which my parents were not happy about. And Charlie Ward went all out and all over the Miami Hurricanes. So that was a loss. So far, Miami 1-2 against Heisman winning quarterbacks in my lifetime. The next one would be Chris Winkie in 2000. Now, again, Chris Winkie, older, but at the time coming into that game, Chris Winkie had all the hype of a Heisman quarterback. Miami ended up winning that game. Dorsey, Shockey, we know how that went. Chris Winkie lost the Miami Hurricanes. Chris Winkie went on to have somewhat of an NFL career, a little bit, but certainly in college, he was one of the best quarterbacks that Miami has faced. Then we have the next year, Eric Crouch. That was a debacle. Eric Crouch should not have won the Heisman, first of all, and second of all, Miami crushed him. But coming into the game, obviously, he had all the accolades of being a Heisman-winning quarterback. Now Miami's 3-2 against Heisman-winning quarterbacks in my lifetime. The next one, Tim Tebow. I remember thinking Miami going against Tim Tebow, and they actually did a great job on defense that game. And that stupid field goal at the end that Urban Meyer kicked, and Randy Shannon was all pissed off. But Miami lost to Tim Tebow, right? Then Sam Bradford. Miami faced Sam Bradford and lost out in Oklahoma. I was at that game. I was on the sidelines. So that's not good, right? Now we're at 3-4. Miami against Heisman winning quarterbacks. And then Jameis Winston. They faced them. And who else? And Joe Burrow, right? The year before Joe Burrow won the Heisman, but Joe Burrow's LSU coming out party was against Miami in that AdvoCare preseason game. So Miami has faced a lot of Heisman winning quarterbacks, certainly throughout their time, throughout my lifetime. But think about the guys they faced. Oh, I forgot about Michael Vick. Think about the guys they faced. So that game in 1999, Michael Vick was unbelievable. Now, his stats, if you look back at his stats, in the 1999 game, which has a lot of memories for me because I'll tell you why. One, I started to develop the symptoms of appendicitis. And when I got back from that game, we got back at like 5 a.m. At like 9 a.m., I took myself to the hospital. I'm not going to mention the hospital because I probably should have sued them for malpractice because they didn't diagnose me with appendicitis until after my appendix burst at about 7 p.m. And then I had to have emergency surgery where I almost died. That's a long story. I was in intensive care. It was a whole awful situation. But before that, the game against Virginia Tech happened. Clinton Portis fumbled a million times. Ken Dorsey came in for an injured Kenny Kelly and threw a bunch of interceptions. But in that game, I remember watching Michael Vick going, this guy is the best athlete I've ever seen. I mean, the whole running one way, throwing across his body the other way, like 50 yards, was unbelievable. And even though Michael Vick's stats in that game weren't amazing, I mean, he only had like 150 yards passing or 160 yards passing, and he did have, something like 50 yards rushing. His abilities in that game showed me that he was just a premier athlete, premier quarterback. Miami faced Matt Ryan up in BC, so I remember that. David Klingler, right? We remember that game. Miami shut him down, but going into that game, he was as hyped as anyone ever that they've seen. So over the years, Miami has faced some of the best quarterbacks in college football history, and I suppose like Trevor Lawrence is another one on the table. And certainly, as of right now, everyone is holishing, as we would say in Yiddish, over Trevor Lawrence. But is he better than all of those guys I just named? Is he? Is Trevor Lawrence better? College version of Trevor Lawrence. I'm not counting what they turn out to be in the NFL. Is college version of Trevor Lawrence better than college version of Michael Vick? Better than college version of Sam Bradford? Better than college version of Doug Flutie? I don't know. Better than college version of Ty Detmer? I think we live in the now sometimes. And I'm not saying that he's not the best quarterback that Miami's ever faced. I just think sometimes we get a little overhyped at this week's opponent or this year's opponent or this week's obstacle. It's just, like everyone is going nuts about Miami running backs right now, right? With Cam and Rooster and Chaney, and everyone's going nuts. Oh, and we're living in the present. Oh my God, this is the best running back threesome Miami's ever had. Hello, like McGahee, Gore, Portis, Najee, Jared Payton, like anyone wanna? All right, I'm throwing that out there. James Jackson, like you understand? Like we tend to live in the now, and so I think it's unfair. So I'm not going to tell you that Trevor Lawrence isn't the best quarterback that Miami has faced. But I will tell you, let's not make that decision. Now, we'll see what happens on Saturday. Maybe Trevor Lawrence will look like something we've never seen before. But, I mean, of the quarterbacks I just rattled off, we've certainly seen some amazing performances. Miami faced Teddy Bridgewater in a bowl game. Remember that? That was awful. So there's been a ton of them that have had great performances against Miami. And a lot of guys who have gone on to have great NFL careers, or at least pretty decent NFL careers, or had amazing college football careers. So let's not go proclaiming Trevor Lawrence the end-all and be-all, even though right now in this year, this crazy year of 2020, he seems like the best thing since sliced bread. Why do we say that? Why is it the best thing since sliced bread? Like, why did we choose sliced bread as the best thing? I can think of a lot of things better than sliced bread. I mean, a hell of a lot of things. I mean, I can slice the bread myself. You get a knife and you slice the bread. Although I will tell you, there is something kind of satisfying about when you go to Publix or your local bakery. But I go to the Publix because shopping is a pleasure and expensive. And I get a loaf of bread and I have them slice it. They put it in that machine. That's a good thing. That's a thing. They do it at the Panera too. They do it at the Panera. You get like one of those breads that they home make at Panera and they'll put it in the machine. They'll slice it for you. That's good stuff. Yeah. It's not the best thing. There's a lot of better things than sliced bread. Anyways, you catch my drift. I guess I'll be back here Saturday night. And I'll tell you whether that was the best performance by an opposing quarterback that Miami's ever seen or not. But let's just take a step back and think about the history of Miami Hurricanes and their opponents and the quarterbacks that they faced and not go over the ledge on this one. All right. Listen, I think Miami can win on Saturday. That's a good thing. I really do. I really think that Miami could pull off this upset against Clemson. It's going to take everything. Certainly, the defense is going to be extremely important to stop what is a multifaceted attack by Clemson with Etienne and Trevor Lawrence and all of his weapons. But we know Miami is ready offensively, so I think it's the defense that we're going to have to see who's going to come out to play. So that'll do it for me on this video. Again, tell everyone to subscribe. Hit me up in the comments. I love chatting with you guys. Hit me up on social media, Miami Radio Beast. And go Canes. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.